invisible cage. How emotional abuse reprograms your perception of personal safety. Today we'll dismantle the psychological architecture of the invisible cage, mapping how chronic emotional volatility rewires the nervous system, causing it to mistake hypervigilance for safety. We examine the erosion of internal boundaries where survival instincts override intuition, leaving us trapped within a distorted reality that prioritizes a predator's stability over our own fundamental safety. Have you ever felt like you're walking on eggshells, even when you're completely alone? Emotional abuse doesn't just damage your heart. It constructs an invisible cage that actually rewires your nervous system. In this video, we explore how your survival instincts have hijacked your intuition, making you mistake constant hypervigilance for actual security. Constant emotional unpredictability forces the brain into a permanent state of high alert by hijacking the amygdala and impairing the prefrontal cortex. This creates a continuous survival loop that drains cognitive energy, alters stress hormone levels, and prevents the nervous system from returning to a baseline of safety. When a potential threat arises, the brain's alarm system prioritizes immediate survival over rest and connection through a rapid subcortical neural shift. This rapid mechanism bypasses logical, executive processing regions to deploy energy for a flight or fight response. This shift from engaging with the world to hypervigilantly monitoring it is a quiet, unconscious survival tactic where living is replaced by preparing for impact. The process of internalizing a predator's needs is driven by an unconscious survival strategy known as the Fawn Response. By prioritizing the abuser's demands over your own to maintain safety, you gradually lose touch with your own identity, making personal desires feel invisible or even dangerous. When the self-trust mechanism collapses, internal signals like intuition are repeatedly silenced to appease others and avoid confrontation. This self-abandonment creates a vicious cycle of anxiety and overthinking. Healing requires recognizing the origins of these patterns and rebuilding connection with your inner compass. The collapse of self-trust occurs when we consistently override our internal compass to avoid conflict and maintain external calm. By silencing our intuition in favor of people-pleasing, we create inner conflict, leading to severe emotional exhaustion and decision paralysis. Believing that perfect behavior guarantees a lack of conflict is a maladaptive psychological mechanism. Driven by a desire for control and belonging, an individual suppresses their true needs, becoming a people pleaser. This approach ultimately fails because it ignores that healthy disagreement is a natural part of human connection. Fawning is an unconscious, trauma-driven survival response where an individual sacrifices personal boundaries and identity to appease, mirror, or pacify a perceived threat. It functions as a psychological shield that mimics intimacy to de-escalate tension, creating the illusion of deep connection while actually masking internal vulnerability and fear. A temporary lack of conflict, the quiet, is often mistaken for genuine emotional security, causing us to suppress needs, avoid important conversations, and confuse numbness with peace. The cycle is built on a feedback loop of avoidance, relief, and isolation. Gaslighting and manipulation systematically rewire a victim's internal logic by replacing their reality with the abuser's emotional state. This dynamic conditions the victim to treat the abuser's stability as the ultimate priority, reshaping their decisions, emotional state, and identity around the abuser's needs. When the outside world feels less relatable than the intense dynamics of an isolated, confined space, it creates a psychological paradox. The boundary between reality and the internal environment blurs, making external life appear trivial or unimportant compared to the immediate intensity of the space you occupy. Managing a partner or family member's volatile emotions acts like a 40-hour-a-week job, demanding continuous hypervigilance, crisis management, and emotional suppression. The resulting exhaustion goes far beyond standard fatigue because it forces your nervous system to stay constantly on, leaving you drained and unable to recharge. Hypervigilance traps your nervous system in a constant state of threat scanning, making it hard to feel secure. To tell the difference between this fight or flight mode and true safety, you can use body-based somatic tools to ground yourself in the present moment. Your nervous system acts as your body's built-in alarm system, triggering a fight or flight response when you perceive danger. Reconnecting with your body's alarm system through small acts of self-assertion is essential to heal a dysregulated nervous system and break free from chronic stress. Asserting yourself reclaims your internal boundary, helping the body differentiate between past trauma and present safety. Dismantling invisible bars involves shifting from an external to an internal locus of control, reframing the narrative, and establishing physical and emotional boundaries. This process restores agency, allowing survivors of coercive control or trauma to reclaim an authentic reality free from the predator's influence. It is a four-phase reclamation framework. Phase 1. Externalize the threat and shame. By recognizing that coercive tactics like gaslighting or isolation were calculated survival traps rather than personal failures. Phase 2. Establish sensory and physical autonomy by disrupting the freeze or fawn responses by utilizing somatic self-regulation to signal safety to the midbrain. Phase 3. Cognitive reframing. By challenging the narrative of the predator, by identifying subjective, harmful perspectives and replacing them with self-directed goals. Phase 4. Constructing an independent external world. By rebuilding an independent support network and redefine your subjective reality away from the manipulator's influence. You've got this. Be safe.